intensifying tensions, teasing a big and important event planned for today. Dictator Kim Jong-un vowing to flex his nuclear muscles.
The man is accused of shooting Agent Brian Terry, exposing Operation Fast and Furious, is finally under arrest.
I feel more comfortable now that Trump's in office, and I think.
From New Jersey.
He has from the east, I have from the west.
That's right. Y'all are probably eating breakfast as you're coming into work.
Drinking.
And we are having drinking orange juice, I hope. Yes. Right. Pete Hegseth is having breakfast with friends in Scranton, Pennsylvania this morning, flipping some pancakes.
That's right. That's right. We're at the Keystone Restaurant here in West Scranton, so come on out. The doors just opened 6 o'clock. We're talking to voters here. Of course, Pennsylvania key to President Trump's victory, although this is a Democratic stronghold here that almost went for him. We're not going to be talking to pundits. We're going to be talking to the people about politics. What is their pulse of what's going on? Of course, even the local paper today talking about Russia. We know the people are far more concerned than conspiracy theories about Russian collusion. How is President Trump doing? What's the future look like? And, of course, we've got something called the Invader Challenge here that you have to eat in 20 minutes, which I plan to complete live on the air here on Fox and Friends. So stick around for that.
Pete, I've got a question for you. I see they've got the home fries piled up in the corner back there. Do they make the home fries first thing in the morning and just keep a pile of them back there all day long? Is that why they're so delicious and crispy?
All day long. I watched them throw them in the corner here. There's garlic butter on top of them, and they just slowly flip them all morning. It's fantastic.
Delicious.
All right, well, now they have one more worker in the kitchen. You can help with the prep work this morning,
Yeah,
Pete.
where's your hairnet? Get on it.
I'm ready to go. My application's already in.
Right. Pete Hegseth in the Keystone State at the Keystone Diner. We'll be checking in with him a little later.
Did he just say he's looking for a new job?
I'm not really sure.
Applications in?
I just think so. He was able to use his military background to explain how they keep home fries fresh throughout the morning. It's fantastic.
True. Keeping those home fries safe over there in the corner.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this international story. Journalists were called to a particular neighborhood in North Korea earlier today at the behest of that man. That's Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea. It had been presumed, because they had said there's going to be a big, important event, that there could actually be an atomic bomb test today. As it turns out, he unveiled a new housing project he's very proud of. It looks like, according to the think tanks that study this kind of thing, he's going to ignite and test his 6th nuclear weapon, probably on Saturday, which is Day of the Sun in North Korea.
Which is their most important national holiday. He says if he does this, the device will be in a tunnel at their nuclear testing site. And he's warning, his regime is warning national journalists to be prepared for, quote, a big event.
You know that the President of the United States turned around a naval strike force a few days ago when he realized what's going on in North Korea, and he wanted to send a message that, you know what, we're not going to sit by and allow you to become a nuclear nation or to continue on your path to build a missile that's going to be able to hit a major American city. And amongst the people that are helping us, it seems to be China. We've heard this before. However, the relationship, the initial relationship between the president, our president, and their leader has led everybody to believe that there might be some progress between the #1 parent nation of North Korea with the most influence. Amongst the people who are impressed so far with what Donald Trump is doing in the region is Michael Meehan, a Democratic strategist who worked with John Kerry.
I actually give the president credit for this. The Korean Peninsula is such a complicated situation, and the Chinese have an outsized ability to help affect that outcome. You know, the North Korean leader's birthday is on this weekend. They like to have a show of force. I think this is the fact that he's able to use his deal-making skills to put this kind of pressure, both economic and military, around North Korea. I think is actually he should get some credit for this.
Absolutely. There's an exclusive interview in the Wall Street Journal. It's their lead item right now. They had a 70-minute interview with the President of the United States yesterday, and President Trump offered China better trade terms in exchange for help with North Korea. Last week, he had told the Chinese president, he said he would not accept a continued large trade deficit with China. We knew that. He campaigned on that. But he said, and this is a quote, "But if you want to make a great deal, solve the problem in North Korea, that's worth having deficits, and that's worth having not as good a trade deal as I normally would be able to make. So clearly, he is dangling a great big carrot in front of China. You help me with North Korea, and I'm going to help you with trade.
It's so interesting because you have to remind all these countries that you are the superpower, that America's not going to sit back and watch nuclear strikes or sarin gas being dropped on babies. But you do have to have these diplomatic relationships with these other countries. You can see that. That's why Rex Tillerson went to Russia, because he's trying to get Russia to work with Syria, since they're allies. Now he's trying to work with China to help with North Korea, because that China is their only ally.
And right now, yeah, there's a SEAL team training in South Korea right now, and the word is, according to local South Korean newspapers, that there's a sense that there might be a SEAL Team 6 operation to assassinate him like they did bin Laden. And there's also a report a couple of days ago that Kim Jong-un is in hiding because he is afraid, and they are beginning to vacate the capital because they expect an imminent American attack. And as Charles Krauthammer speculated last night, he said it's not bad really to have to have a reputation of being somewhat unpredictable 4 days after you hit 59 Tomahawks into a country that you've basically, as a nation, avoided for the last 4 years. So Kim Jong-un is saying, wait a second, could this leader, this businessman, who we know very little about, could he be the one to actually stop my progress?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because now the rest of the world is paying attention. If they did that, if the President Trump did that in Syria, he could do that here. And that's why China's premier moved 150,000 troops to the border with North Korea, just in case North Koreans, or they just try to go over into their country, those refugees, to try escape a strike from America.
It's all about the money. So now it looks like we've got a partner. It sounds like we've got a partner in China trying to do something. But remember, you got, as John McCain referred to the guy who runs North Korea, you got a crazy fat kid in charge over there. So stay tuned.
Who's done nothing to earn that position as leader. Meanwhile, when you talk about Russia, you have two places if you want to find out the latest between the U.S. and Russian relations. You have the Rose Garden, or excuse me, the White House yesterday, where the NATO General Secretary was having a press conference after meeting behind closed doors with our president. And then you have our Secretary of State meeting with his counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, in Russia, and then a somewhat surprising 2.5-hour closed-door meeting with Vladimir Putin. Did we make any progress? Not really.
Well, the only thing we agreed on is, yep, we're going to both fight ISIS. Otherwise, it looks like Lavrov says Russia's not sure that Assad carry out the chemical attacks.
Please.
Rex Tillerson said it was pretty well established that Russia interfered in the U.S. election. Back and forth. It was kind of a ping and a pong thing. At the end of the day, though, the president said, you know what? We got trouble with Russia.
Right now, we're not getting along with Russia at all. We may be at an all-time low in terms of relationship with Russia. This is built for a long period of time. But we're going to see what happens. I'll also see about Putin over a period of time. It'd be a fantastic thing if we got along with Putin and if we got along with Russia. And that could happen, and it may not happen. It may be just the opposite.
I love the way that Rex Tillerson, who I knew very little about, I love the way he just sat there staring straight ahead like he's been doing this for 25 years. He just sat there and said, listen, we're not getting along. I'm not going to pretend like we are. And then he went behind closed doors with a guy he actually knows in Vladimir Putin, never in this position before. They didn't get the picture that many people thought would have been nice. I personally couldn't care less. And I also think that Lavrov's response when asked about did you interfere in American elections is fascinating. He doesn't say we didn't. He says, where's your proof? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, wait a second. I didn't steal your stuff.
We didn't unless we're caught.
Yeah.
You have proof? I love the handshake, too. It was so icy cold. Remember when Hillary Clinton did that and handed the reset button? They were laughing and trying to joke around.
Yeah,
this was totally different.
I think people are getting a good look at Rex Tillerson. Keep in mind, he was a businessman running Exxon and other things for a very long time. That's just the demeanor that you have in that big executive suite. He did it very effectively. And I guess ultimately, at the end of the day, what we learned yesterday is maybe Trump is not Putin's puppet, as we have been told by the mainstream media for the last year.
Democrats are saying he's overcompensating because he has that label. Really? You just can't win. Jonah Goldberg, among the people last night, who said, listen, I think that narrative is just about done. We'll see where we go from here, because if there's another chemical hit, basically on all counts, we're going to hit him again. If they do the barrel bombs, we're not batting to a corner. But if they do the chemical hit, I'm sure we're going to do the same thing.
Well, that message has been put out there. It's his move, Mr. Assad.
All right, let's hand it over to Jackie Ibanez, who has some headlines for us. Hey, Jackie. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, friends, and good morning to everyone waking up at home. The cartel member suspected of murdering a border agent, exposing Operation Fast and Furious, is finally under arrest this morning. This man right here, caught in Mexico, is accused of shooting Agent Brian Terry on the U.S. southern border 6 years ago. Terry's death helped reveal Operation Fast and Furious, an ATF program that allowed criminals to buy guns in the U.S. with the intention of tracking them in Mexico. They lost track of nearly 2,000 guns, 2 of them found at Terry's murder scene. Authorities uncovering that is terror right on American soil. The feds arresting 2 men accused of working for ISIS, even wanting to raise an ISIS flag on top of the White House. The FBI says Joseph Jones and Edward Chimenti, both from Illinois, pledged their allegiance to the terror group online. The 2 handing over cell phones, telling agents they planned on using them to set off bombs overseas. And is the White House chief strategist Steve Bannon